it's a sure thing. Change, change. Expect a miracle change. Watch me change when you change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 do.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spirit Cafe. I'm Barbara Schreiner-Tidell, and my guest today, well, my co-host guest is C from Ottawa, and together we're going to have a great show with a wonderful, wonderful guest that I'll tell you a little bit about in a moment. Let us begin with the land acknowledgement. We work, live, and play on the historical and traditional territory of many Indigenous nations. And as we gather from many places on Turtle Island, we as settlers are grateful for the opportunity to meet here. And we thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years, including the Métis, Inuit, and all Indigenous people. And although I'm not a person of African descent, I'm committed to continually acting in support of and in solidarity with Black communities seeking freedom and reparative justice in light of the history and ongoing legacy of slavery that continues to impact Black communities across Turtle Island. As part of this commitment, I'd also like to acknowledge that not all people came to these lands as migrants and settlers. Specifically, I wish to acknowledge those who came here involuntarily, particularly those brought to these lands as a result of the transatlantic slave trade and slavery. In support of our ongoing efforts to confront anti-Black racism, we pay tribute to these ancestors of African origin and descent, and we also acknowledge the contributions made, both in shaping and strengthening our community and our countries. And by making this acknowledgement, we strive to be allies and take an active part in reconciliation. We recognize our oneness, we realize our history, and we choose to create a new reality, for we are one. Well, I'm excited today. Our guest is Alberto Agrasso, and he's a spiritual artist whose artwork is inspired by his personal quests and pilgrimages. Wash it, can't do a thing with it. The most notable being the 800-kilometer Camino in his native Spain and his 5,000-kilometer, 13-month, 13-country walk for peace from Rome to Jerusalem with his now wife, Moni. He has been channeling spirit-inspired artwork for several years and has done hundreds of personalized soul portraits for clients. In 2021, following the inner guide, he illustrated the 31 chapters of A Course in Miracles text, and at the start of 2022, following the same call, began illustrating a lesson a day from the A Course in Miracles workbook as a means to deepen his own practice and understanding of the Course's teaching. He's an international award-winning author and illustrator. His multi-language books for adults and children can be found on his website, walkingforpeace.com. And he has also hosted live radio shows dedicated to awakening consciousness. And these are done in his native Spanish language. So today we're going to be talking about awakening from the dream. Welcome, Alberto.
Hello, thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Sue. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
We're grateful to have you here. So grateful. And now you've been studying A Course in Miracles, and you've been doing some work with that to illustrate it and help it to make sense to all of us. Tell us more about that.
How I can make sense to all of us? Well, I think from the very beginning, since I started to read the course, I did what I do now for a long time, but now with the course, with the teachings of the course, I I have gone even deeper in that. That is to ask for guidance, and to ask for the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, how the course call it, the inspiration from God. Then today, everything that I do is in the same line. Even before to do this interview, before to do anything, I surrender. I surrender to the will and to the intelligence that know everything, that is one with every one of us, and that know the way and that know what is the best. Then thanks to that, because I started to do that in the same moment I started to read the course, I think I could. I think no, I know that I could understand better the course, because from the very beginning I surrendered to it. Every paragraph that I read, every chapter, every lesson, always I was telling, I don't want to understand this alone. I want that you help me to understand this, because I want to know what you think about this, what you want to reveal to me. And this is the same thing, simply said, is the same thing that I do with my illustrations. I open always to that the mind of God, the thought of God, how in the course is telling, is the one that bring the information or the ideas that I want to express through my hands or through my mind too. No? But that is the simple thing that can summarize how I did it. It was at the beginning, it was difficult for me, because it's like you don't know how I'm going to do this. This is a lot of fees, it's a lot of work. It's especially with the lessons, was to do a lesson a day. I needed to read the lesson, I needed to understand the lesson, and I needed to channel, to open to know for sure what the Spirit wanted to express. That for every day of the year. No, from the 1 of January to the 31 of December. But even when I had a lot of resistance, I knew that I was not alone. It's more, I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to do it alone, because I knew that I couldn't. But I knew that the one that was with me and with all of us, there is nothing that is impossible to it. And I knew that was his will, it was my will, and I knew that it will come and will be done. And here it is. I finalized at the end of December, and I'm working now to create a book with them. I am publishing the images. This is one a sample of the images that I did. The one that is in the screen now.
That's beautiful.
Can you explain this?
Excuse me?
Alberto, can you explain this image?
This image.
Why did you choose it?
Yes, I had choose 5 images of the almost 400 that I did. I have choose 5 images because it's related to the talk that we had today about waking from the dream. That this is really the main thing to the course is teaching. Is the course is telling us that we are in a dream, that the reality that we see, what looks is reality, is a reality that we have fabricated. It's like a dream, like the dreams in the night that we have fabricated, and we have fabricated these images that we see, this reality that we see, with our belief and with our belief in the past. And here I say that specifically for this image, I see only the past is one of the first lessons, and because the dream that we are living in, or we are is a dream that we are also projecting. It's not a dream that is outside of us, that we are desvinculated to it. It's a dream that we are projecting with our belief system, and with our belief system is feeds for our memories and our personal history, all that we remember from the past. And this is how we believe it, we see it, and how we see it, we continue believing in it. It's like this loop that is created. It's like this a vicious circle that feed itself until we stop for a moment. And in some moment we stop and says, this is absurd. I am repeating. It's always the same things are happening. Why it is happening? This cannot be this way. Need to be another way. Must be another way. No. And when you open yourself to see things in a different way, is when the spirit allow, so the spirit can go in and show you another way to see things. Then in this image,
Right.
you can see that I am having. You see, usually I put in the interviews the square sheet because it's in all my images in the illustrations I am with a square sheet for that you can recognize me, no? But I'm having there with a cup of coffee, and in this lesson it put you the sample of everything that you see is you had a concept of what you see because you had learned from your past what is this thing in this specific way. Then I had memories of what is a cup of coffee or what is a cup from my past, but from the very beginning. And you can see in this is it's a clock, a glass. How you call it?
Hourglass.
Hourglass. Exactly.
Hourglass.
It's an hourglass. And in the hourglass, because it's a symbol of time, because the course talk a lot about time in the course, linear time specifically. But you can see in the glass reflections of his past, of my past, where when I was a child, with my mother, she gave me the cup of the milk, or the juice, and all the memories that I had of what is a cup. When a cup one day fall and crash, and then I knew, or I believe it, that how a cup crash, all the cups can crash, and then you start to holding all these memories, with your relationships. So and here in the bottom, you see how the cup is being filled with coffee, and if you are not careful, you can go out, no, and can fall out of the cup. Then all these memories is what you are holding there, and is creating a concept in your mind of what a cup is. And right the moment where you don't think what is this thing that you are seeing, you had already a concept there of what it is, and how you believe that, and you see that concept more than the thing that is there. You don't see that thing like a new thing. You see things from the concepts that you had in your past, in your memory. And then this is the thing that makes that you continue seeing things in everything. You can apply the cup to everything and every person, every situation. You continue see things in the same way until you open yourself again to see things in a new way. And when you open yourself to see things in a new way, is where this can happen. Because really what we are seeing is not reality. What we are seeing is a fabrication from our own memories and from what we remember from the past. This is the main teaching of the. But there is a reality behind that. There is a reality. There is a world that is created by love, by God, that is behind this screen, this glass, this mirror that we have in front of us. That is waiting to be developed. Is waiting to be discovered. Sorry. But for that we need to first learn that what we are seeing is not the final truth. What we are seeing is what we are projecting, and it's attached to all that we believe from our past. That will be the summarize from this image. So,
Yeah, ultimately we can only see what we believe.
yeah.
And that's sort of the greatest question. You hear people say, "Oh, believe it when I see it," but the truth is,
it's the other way.
That'll be the other way around, because you're gonna see it once you believe it. Once you have that belief in a new reality, you create a new reality moving forward.
Yeah.
Now, you did. I wanted to touch base on the peace walk that you did, which took 13 months for you. What precipitated that, or what was that like, and what got you to do that? That's a lot.
This happened a long time ago now. We did this work. I did this work with Moni, my wife. She was a pilgrim at that time, like me. We met in El Camino de Santiago in Spain. We were doing the pilgrimage, each one in his own. We meet it the last day of the pilgrimage in the last city. It's a city, it's a town called Finisterre, the end of the world, that is in the coast, in the Atlantic coast of Spain.
Yeah.
We meet there, and she already have the inspiration to do another walk for peace to Jerusalem. And she was the one that received the inspiration, and we simply meet there in that place, like many other buildings, and we didn't think that we were going to meet each other again. We meet. She told me, like she told to another people, that what she was thinking to do.
Yeah.
And we separated our paths. I didn't speak English at that time. She didn't speak Spanish. We separated our path, but 2 months later, we meet synchronistically, coincidentally. We meet again just when she was going to start alone in Rome. She was preparing to go to Rome. And we meet again. And at that time, I knew that I needed to do that work too. I felt strongly this calling, because this connection with the Spirit is not something new. It's something that I had from the very beginning of my spiritual awakening. I knew that I could feel it. I received signs and all that. That is a great, the greatest love, what had created everything, this amazing friend and all the answers, it was with me and was guiding me, and it's with every one of us. That this is something that I would love to share with people, to my brothers, is this idea, this concept that we are not alone. We are not
Yeah.
alone. This, what had created everything, resides in us, lives in us, and is there waiting to guide us in every moment. And that was this calling that I felt to go with her. She finally invited me to go, and we started to walk in Rome, in Italy. And we walked for a year, and for her was the same thing. She was feeling too the inspiration and the calling to. We were trying to follow the call of there is something else. There is another thing in life that to live for, to pay bills and to and to create money or to create family. There is something else. There is a spiritual calling, and she was following her spiritual calling. I was following mine, and then we unite in the path that we call it the inner journey. It's a journey that you do from outside, but it's a journey that is bringing you inside, the inner journey. And we unite in the path, and we did it in a very special way. We are not going to have time here to talk about it, but it was a path following signs, a path of faith, believing, always allowing us to be guided. That is the same that the course is teaching from the very beginning. And was a way to prove many things that we already believed at that time. Like our thoughts had power, we alter or we influence or call it reality or dream.
Yeah.
We alter with what we think. The people is good, really. That was another thing, because we received a lot of help. We were going from town to town asking for shelter. It was not a journey to go to hotels and all that, even for a little bit it was. And we always receive people. We always receive people that receive us. We always find people that receive us and give us for free a place to sleep, many times a place to eat, to shower. All
Well,
that.
the truth is, Alberto, wherever you are, there you are. So wherever you go, there you are. And of course, people are going to meet you in the manner in which you meet them. It's that connection of the divine that we see each other.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that you were housed along the way. That's perfect.
Many times. We didn't have one day that we didn't have shelter. Only there was one day that we didn't find. In every place they told us, no, it's not possible. That was the New Year Eve in 2002, so 2001 to 2002. And even that night, finally, we found a place, but it was a providential place. That was a gift from the Spirit. We found a place to sleep in a very cold night. After many people have said us, no, it's not possible. We found a place in the road, and was a gift. Even in that place where we passed the night, there was a lesson to learn, because that is the thing. Everything is a lesson. The course teach you everything is a gift from love or is a call from love. So in everything, love is there, trying to give you what you deserve or try to show you the way to understand what you deserve. And for that, everything is always opportunity. Is opportunity to recognize love and to live love. Then even the worst situations that we think we had experienced, always there was love there to show you, to help you to understand, and to help you to create another experience too.
Absolutely.
To fabricate another
Absolutely.
experience. But the point is at the end is to remember who you really are. That you are the loving Son of God, the perfect how and holy how He created you. That is another thing that you find in the course many times, said in many ways.
Of course, of course. Can you tell us a little bit about your spiritual epiphany, that moment of knowing that God is love?
Well, it was, I come from a religious background. My mother wanted to be a nun. She taught me and my brother and sister that over all things God is love. I like to say that because that was a great influence for us in our childhood. But with the years, I started to disconnect from that because there was many contradictions in what the religion at that time that I knew was saying for one side, but for another side it was teaching you about hell, about sin, about punishment, about to follow blindly, to even the blind faith. Then there was many things that make me separate from spirituality. I wanted to be even a priest when I was a child. I always was saying I want to be a priest. But with 14 years, around the 14 years old, I started to go far away because I didn't find sense. I didn't find here there is something that is wrong. I don't know. But still, I believe that there was something because I had my memories from the childhood that I had a friend with me all the time. I had Jesus, I had Mary, it personalized in them. There was a big love that always was with me. And I had experience when I was a child where I could see miracles happening when I prayed to God. My mother taught me to you when you had a problem, go and pray to God. God love you. Mary love you. Your mother love you. And I saw many miracles when I was a child. All this went a little away in my teenage years, in my adolescent. But when the point that where I come back to this knowledge, to this memory, that really there is something with us all the time that love us immensely and know the way, was when I was 28 years old, and was because I was having my dark night of the soul, because I was living a life that really had no sense. As what I was telling you, pay bills, work for every day, many hours in something that you don't like, to create a future, to have a pension when you are old. Doesn't matter. The important is that you have security for you and for your loved ones. All these things that we learn to believe that are real, and that we need to have that for that we can live. And right a moment where you don't doubt that. So you are doing that because everybody, your dream is showing you. I was talking, this is the importance of to know that your past is what fabricate your experience. You believe that, you don't doubt any for a moment that is true. And this is what you are experiencing all the time. Then when I was 28 years, I was so bad in my job because I couldn't do anything that I loved. I couldn't paint, I couldn't draw, I was all the time in my work with a very low income that was a help. In some way, all that helped me to, because I would have a very good salary, reduced hours, maybe I would still be there, but no, I needed to go very bad, very low, for in someone to doubt and to say, this doesn't make sense, this is absurd. What kind of life, I don't care anymore. Is I'm going to lose my job? Yes. Is I'm going to lose my future wife because she's afraid for the future? Is I'm going to lose the opportunity to help my I don't care anymore because I'm not happy in this way, and this is not bringing me to anywhere. And before to start to have dark thoughts about what I do with my life, is I finish my life and I think I didn't have nothing of that, but it was more dark every time. Because before all this, I make a new choice. And I say, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I don't come back to my job. That was my first thought. I'm going to get holidays, rest, and I'm going to think profoundly. I'm going to open to a new way, but I don't come back to my job. I don't mind if I have no money. I don't care anymore. I cannot live in this way. And when I arrive to that place of surrender and to say, I'm open to do another thing. I'm open to see things differently. I didn't have the answers, but I was open to see things differently. Was when I found a book. I find a book, a self-help book. Can sound simply, but it was that showed me a new perspective, a new way to understand life that I never would have imagined. But when I started to read it, I could see that make all sense. And it was telling me the same. I'm not talking about the Course in Miracles. It was a student of the Course in Miracles. It was Louise Hay, her book, You Can Heal Your Life. That book, it was for years in the shell of my mother. My mother, very religious, you imagine. She wanted to be a nun. Everything that she had was Catholic. Everything was the Pope and and I didn't look at that shell, never, because I was not more in that kind of thinking. But when I arrived to that point where I said, I need to do something else. In that moment was when I was in the sofa, I looked to the shell of my mother, and I saw a book that was coming out. I don't know what was, but it was called my attention. And what is that? And I went, expecting to see Santa Teresa de Jesus, or I don't know who. And they go, this is not a nun, this is not a priest. What is this? And you can heal your life. You can heal your life. And for me, that was at that moment I didn't know. But at the moment, it was the Spirit was telling me, you can heal your life.
Yes.
You can heal your life. And then when I started to read, immediately I understood perfectly what it was saying. I never had any kind of idea close to that. I had not studies in psychology. I had not read about the spirituality. Everything said that this thing was for cults, sects, cults that they try to, I didn't meditate. I didn't, nothing of that. But in that book, I found what really was the problem. The problem was not outside of me. The problem was in me, was in my mind, in the way that I understood things, my belief system that I was putting there in front of me. Then that was my epiphany at that time. The course came a few years ago, and has been amazing. But it was the epiphany, and after that, I became, a seeker, like you call a seeker.
Of course.
Everything that was different philosophies, spirituality, psychology. I read everything, and I went to El Camino de Santiago. I went pilgrimage, looking, allowing myself to be guided, because I told you from the very beginning, I felt that guidance that was with me, synchronous, do this, and I found answers. I found effects, from what I did and what I followed.
That's awesome. Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life was the first spiritual book I read as well.
I know many people that had that too.
Yeah.
It's nice to know. It's nice to know.
Yeah, well, and she was a practitioner in the science of mind, which is what my ministry is. So very interesting. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back for all kinds of more good stuff. So don't go away. We'll only be a moment.
Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.
And we're back chatting with Alberto Agrasso about his journey with A Course in Miracles. See, do you have any questions or any?
Yeah, well, that is an amazing adventure you've been on, Alberto. Thank you for sharing. And I read when you were talking about your book that it says you're an Andalusian mystic. So can you explain your type of mysticism?
Yes, all the presentation that Barbara had done, and this that you say that the Lucian mystic coming in the cover back of our book, Walking for Peace and Inner Journey. It is very good. Still is said in the way that we say things before the Course in Miracles. Maybe today's I will need to say things about who I am, what we did. Maybe I will use a different way to express the ideas, because I think today understand even better than at that time what happened. Then Andalusian mystic, what you say is, because I am from Andalusia in Spain, from Cadiz, concretely. It's a small town in the Atlantic, beside Portugal. And mystic because mystic for me is somebody that tried to see God in everything and everywhere, and try to live that. Not only see, you understand that God is everything. You understand that God is inside of you. You understand that you are inside of God. You understand that everything is God. Independently of what you see, you know that that is the fundamental truth. And you try to live that to the end. Right? That is your main goal. There is no goal that is over that. All the other goals are below that. And all the other goals are there to support the main goal, the main seeking, the main mission, the main function that you have in life. For me, it's how I will spread what is to be a mystic, or what I feel. Maybe for another person is another way. For me, that is to what I really believe I'm and I try to do every day. Yeah.
Right. Because a mystic is a practitioner, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to practice what you preach. You have to put it out to the world.
Exactly. You need to live it, because it's not that it's bad. It's not that it's bad not to do it. It's that doesn't bring you anywhere. So it's you only or make the journey so slow. You need to practice it. Only intellectualizing things doesn't help. You need to live it. You need to because the good thing of all this, like I say, is not a blind faith what you need to have. When you start to live what you believe, you are going to see the effects of this new living and this new thinking. That is the Course teach you this very clear all along the Course. It's a cause create effect. If you think with the ego mind, that is the Course saying, you are going to see effects, experience effects, and that are from this cause of the ego mind. You are also going to see effects of the ego. If you start to think with the right mind, that is the mind of the Holy Spirit, the guidance of the Holy Spirit, that you start to think in this way, you are going to see effects in your world that are going to reflect this new, that is the real one. Is the only main thought system that exists is the thought system of God. The ego system is false, is an illusion. But if you continue thinking in the way of illusions, you continue thinking in the ego system, you are going to see illusions around you. They are not real, but they are going to look very real, you know. But when you start to think with the system of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the system of God, the system of the Son of God that we are going to see effects in that. But that implies that you act in that way too, and that you put not to the test, but you live in that way. Because it is only an idea, but you are afraid to put it in practice. That shows that you really don't believe that. You know, it's showing you, yes, you want to believe, you are, but you still don't believe. And the only way to believe it is that you put in practice and you receive proofs, because you are going to receive proofs of that. And then that is going to increase your faith, and it's going to make you learn really what you are learning. It's not only to understanding in your mind, you need to live it. That is totally very, very important. Thank you for to bring that question. That is very, very important.
That's great. Thank you.
Well, and I think that the journey of A Course in Miracles, because it is a day by day practice when you do the lessons, that practice really causes us to view the world in a completely different way, which I think maybe for some creates some challenges in the beginning when it first starts. It's like, you know, everything out here is the illusion. I think that challenges many of us in the beginning. But I think what you've done and how you're doing it actually makes it seem simpler. That it's just about going into that place of surrender and kind of, I think of it as coming from our heart space rather than our our conscious mind, but coming from that more subjective place. And what changes have you seen in your life as a result of this new journey of surrender? Although it's not very new for you, you've been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, you know, well, I had seen a lot of changes. For example, I see that really God provides.
Yes.
It's only, or we are the ones that limit ourselves. We are the ones that limit ourselves with what we believe. I have seen that what the Course teach you, that the goals of the world, and when it talks about the world, it's talking about the world that we see. The world that we see is not the real world. It's the world that we are projecting based in this belief system. This is in this painting. You can see. We could say that the world that we see is the one that is in the center of the painting. You know, you see the guy with that is myself too. It's a representation of myself, the representation of everyone self. You know, it's with the suitcase, no, for going to the world, the jacket, the tie. It's a dark world. Maybe he doesn't think that it's dark because he sees it the same way everywhere. You know, everywhere, everybody's doing the same. That is the normal in life, you know. Everybody is fall sick for any reason. Everybody died in some moment in life. Everybody, you know, there are people that have and others have not. There are people, you know, all these. And you believe totally that because you are seeing that in your world. That is the world that we see. That is not the real world. And the Course teach you about the real world and the fabricated world, the perceived world. You know, the real world is not that way. It's what we are putting like a curtain, like a screen over that. And that is what we are seeing. The good thing is that all that is illusion. You know, that is understanding when we say we create a reality. We create a reality. The real Son of God create the reality how His Father create. The Son of God can, and I'm saying Son of God because it's how the Course talk. You can call it how you want. The Son of God create like His Father. His Father cannot create something that is not love. The Father, the source, if you want to call it, cannot create nothing that is not like itself. And the Son of God, that is extension of that source, can create only in that way. That we are so powerful like God is, but only we can create really in the way that God creates. When we are creating something that is not like God creates, and it's because we had forget who we are, we have fallen asleep. All that we are creating that is not love, that is not plenitude, that is not perfection, is false. It's illusion. We experience it like it's true, but it's simply it's like when you are in a dream or you are in a virtual reality simulation rooms that now are very, very popular. You are experiencing many things, but that is only because you have glasses or you have gloves, that your senses are experiencing that, but that is not the truth. That is the good news. Everything that we see terrible in the world today is only an illusion, but it's an illusion that we need to take responsibility because we are the ones that are putting that illusion there. And the only thing that we start to see illusions and pain and sickness and death and hunger and scarcity and all that is when we start to think in another way. And that is the book of Louis Hay started there to bring me to that recognition that I am the one that in some way are putting this there. The good thing is nothing of that is real. The only thing real is love. The only thing real is what God create and what the Son of God will come back to create when he remembered finally when he woke up from the dream. Then that is a great news. So because nothing that we can feel sorry about is real. All we need to take the responsibility and to start to practice what the teachings are showing us for that we can really wake up and we can see another world around us. The point is not to create a new world because the new world is already there. The new world is the old world. It's not create a new world. The point is to wake up and to clean our mind from all the illusions and falsities that we had there from our past for what we have believed since the beginning of this experience of the dream, you know.
Yeah, it's a journey that we're on. Fiona just shared, we are each an individualized artistic expression of source or spirit. That's very.
And we all of us, we are amazing. All of us, we are expression of the divine. We cannot comprehend what we are, you know, but it's much more than a body. It's much more than a personal history. It's much more than all the memories that all the best that we can imagine is nothing in comparison with who we really are. The Son of God. Mm-hmm. Think about that. The Son of God, the Son of the greatest thing that exists. That is what we are. But we can only think in the way from where we see ourselves now, and we identify ourselves and we believe that those selves are. That is what we can see and what we can wish, but we are much more than that. Then for that reason, we need a right mind. We need somebody that knows who we are to help us to go out of the ring, to help us to remember. That is the friend that is walking with us from the very beginning. That is the friend that knows the answer. That is the part of us that remember who we are and who know the way and who is helping us to wake up. For that, we need to surrender and to listen to that voice. We need to listen to the inner voice.
And we all have it. It's, you know, It's really obvious when we when we close down that egoic aspect of ourselves for a moment, we can begin to hear. And that's where our practice is so important. Meditation, prayer, to just quiet the mind and listen.
Yes.
And also pay attention to what's happening in the world around us, that it's reflecting to us what we believe to be true.
Exactly. That is a very important part in the course that is it called to bring the dark to the light. So we must not try to bring light to the dark, because if we bring light to the dark, we are giving reality. We are accepting that the dark is real. Then if you come to save the problems, you are giving reality to that the problems are real. What we need to do is to bring the dark to the light, to get all that and to say to the light, to the friend that we have with us, and to say, this cannot be true. So God cannot create something like that. I don't know how I had put this thing there. Please help me. Yeah. Show me the truth. Show me the way. Heal not this apparent problem that is there. Heal the cause that had shown me this reality or this brother or this situation in that way, because the problem is not there outside. The problem is here. Then I need to bring the dark, what I see. I need to bring it to the source. and to say, I have made a mistake, it's my responsibility. I understand I am learning. I don't blame myself for that. Don't blame outside, don't blame yourself either. But I know that I am wrong and you are right. Show me the truth. Show me the truth that is already there. Show me the truth of my brother. Show me the truth in this situation. I am listening. I'm open to it. And that is how you bring the darkness to the light. Huh?
Yeah. Well, and it's so important that each one of us take responsibility for our own life and our own creation. That by doing that, we actually empower ourselves to see it differently or to create something different. But if I'm blaming somebody else for my reality, then I can never free myself because I'm living in the illusion.
Exactly. It's not bad. It's not that you are doing something. It's not you are a sinner. It's that you are falling in the game of the of the separation. You know, oneness. The oneness that taught the course teach us that we are all the same mind. We are all the same son of God. Oneness is to arrive to remember that all that I see come from the same source. The same that in the night when you are sleeping, you are having a dream. You see many characters in your dreams, many situations, but there is only one mind that is dreaming that dream. Even when you see your brother is not there. It's a projection of your thoughts, of your what you believe about your brother or your friend or your neighbor is what you are seeing there. Your fears that you had, your judgment that you had is what you are seeing there. If you have gone to the bed watching a horror movie, you are going to see horror things in the dream. But if you go to the bed having a prayer and connecting with God, you are going to see dreams of light. You know, but all the dream and all the characters and all the situations of the dreams come from your mind.
Yes.
This dream that we call reality, the awakened reality, is the dream of the Son of God. There is only one mind that is dreaming the whole dream. But we need to take responsibility because I am the one that is choosing what to think.
Exactly.
I'm choosing to align with the ego system, the separation, and everything is desvinculated of me, or I am aligning myself with the one that knows and that is telling me that everything is love, everything is the Son of God, and everything is perfect. And with that subsystem that I align is what will show me what I see. Then my responsibility is to open myself to correct the mistake that is. And I am pointing my head, but I am aware that I am not a body. And you say before the head, the heart, it's ways that we talk while we are in this experience where we see ourselves as like bodies and separate. But the course is teaching us what is the truth. You know, the course and all the spiritual journey is teaching us that. You know, now is the course, but that's the point.
You know, in all of this, and I sat here yesterday and I was asking my spouse, I said, so who dreamed up the dinosaurs?
Who dreamed
Right? So, yeah. So we create our reality. Who or what created that? You know? I
Well,
mean, there's a lot more that we don't see. We don't
exactly.
see a lot of stuff. And
Exactly.
what's interesting to me, like you come from a Catholic background.
Yes.
And so and you give talks to a lot of people in your own language. And I'm assuming there's a lot of Catholics still, you know, who
Yeah.
are speaking
Background.
out of Spain. And
See.
so how do you explain A Course in Miracles to a group of Catholics?
Well, in the first place, I try to, you know, I'm going to be very honest here. I'm trying to see. I'm not trying to see a Catholic. I'm not talking to a Catholic. I'm talking with a brother, because that is the way.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that is sick or had a problem or something, that somebody that is lost, somebody that had tried to attack me or any kind of thing. I'm trying to see a brother. I'm not very good at that all the time. You know, I need to recognize that. Sometimes I don't see it. I react maybe in the first moment, but that is my intention. Is every time, like when I come to this interview, I try to see my brother there. I'm really talking to the part of me. I am talking to myself, to the real self that I am, that still is sleeping. You know. Then I do what I do is I allow that the spirit just, you know, I don't want to tell lies, or I don't want to say something that is not the truth in the way that I believe it. Help me, you use my words, use my thinking to say the truth in the best way that this situation can allow. You know, the best way that I am, because I am the one that is putting my brother there. I am the one that is putting the situation there unconsciously. Then I say, in the best way that I am ready to see the truth come out, use me, bring it. Then I allow to talk with whatever the person that apparently is there that is can be lost or can be in problem or can whatever is the situation. I allow that the spirit talk to it, but knowing that my brother, my real brother, the life of my real brother is the truth, and it is only something that needs to be healed. You know, then I talk like I will talk to myself if I will be asleep in that situation, for example. It's a way that I can do. I remember myself when I was a Catholic, fervent Catholic, and I know that I was not doing something bad or I was totally wrong. I only understood that there was something that I didn't understand. Then from that, I allow that the Spirit talk through me in that direction. And you can talk this truth, the truth that the course teach. You can talk this to even to children in the way that they can understand it. You don't need complicate speech to bring this truth. You need to allow yourself to that spirit use your memories, use your examples, all the experience that you had in the past, movies, tales, whatever. You allow that, use all your background, all the memories of the ego, the ego system, all the memories. When you surrender all that to the Holy Spirit, he will use that in the best way that the situation needs in that moment. Then if I talk with a Catholic, I talk to him in the same way that using his terminology, for example, and to say, the Trinity, the Son of God. The Course talk a lot about with Christian terms and say the Father, the Son. Then I try to explain that, but I try first. The first thing that I try is to see in him somebody that really want to know, somebody that want to know God, because all of us want to know the truth. If I put in my mind that I am talking to somebody that is rejecting or is totally stubborn or doesn't want to know, or is somebody that is in his own way, I am putting already a filter there that is not allowing me to see my brother how he really is. Then the first thing that I need to do is to forgive. Like the Course teach, to forgive is to understand that nothing wrong had happened. Is to understand that what you are seeing is illusion. It's not true. There is no sinners. For to forgive really, you will need to condemn to before. No, in the forgiveness that we understand in this world. For to forgive how the world is, first you need to condemn. There is somebody that need to be forgiven because had done something wrongly. No, the forgiveness that the Course teach you is to understand that there is nothing to forgive. That this is your own projection, it's your own responsibility. The only mistake is in your own mind. Then from there, you allow the Spirit to bring the light. From there, when you have bring the dark to the light, the light shine and the dark disappear. That is the
Well, and interesting that I can really relate to that. I understand that. And, what's also interesting is we draw to us what we need to understand, right?
Yeah.
At all times. So it's kind of an ongoing reflection, isn't it? This world.
Because, while we are asleep, the only way that we can learn is in the moment where we are, in what we are experiencing, what we are projecting, what we are living. The only way to wake up is step by step. So you cannot wake up from something that you cannot imagine. So when you surrender everything to the Holy Spirit will use all your experience, all that you know in the moment, for little by little, help you to understand. Then for that reason, everything that is bad in your life is at the same time is opportunity. Even when it's a projection of the ego, that you are putting the problems there, if with your belief, at the same time, the Holy Spirit, even if you have not surrendered, is happening before from forever, because that is the main reason of all of that, is using that situations, that problems, apparent problems, for to arrive you to the conclusion that there is something there that can be seen in another way. And little by little, the more that you understand, the more that you are open, the more that you are practicing. And that is how in the dream, look like there is a stair of evolution, really there is not evolution, there is a remembering, but you need to go step by step, flowing with that guidance, flowing with what you are learning. But everything is opportunity, is a gift from love. Everything that can is a gift from love. Even the lessons, the opportunities that you have for learning that is not true, and that is another way to see that and to act in that. Then what you say is perfect. It's that way. Yes.
What are
Awesome.
you going to
Awesome.
do? Sorry, go
Sorry?
ahead, Barbara.
No, go ahead. See? Yep.
I'm just wondering, what are you going to do with all of your daily experience, your drawings? What are you going to do with all those?
What I'm going to do? Well, for me, the more important thing is that have helped me to understand better the course. That because I try to see my world healed already. I want to see my world like God had created it, like the Son of God would have created the world. I want to see a loving place. I want to see a place where everybody knows who He is, that is an extension of the source. Then this illustration has helped me to go deeper in the teachings of the course. I surrendered it to the Holy Spirit. And then now I am sharing it with my world, even when this is, let's go to good. If you are dreaming in the night and you see somebody that is had a problem, and you in some moment realize, this is a dream. You are not waking up to every character of your dream to say, hey, this is a dream. No, you wake up, and you bring everything with you to the awakening. Then what I am doing with these illustrations, I'm creating now a book, all the things that I am doing on the tokens, is to make more clear and more certainty in my mind that what I believe is truth, not only for me, but for all my world. I'm trying to bring all this life to my world, overcoming the belief that I had that my world still is wrong.
Awesome.
But doing it, what I see people that is interesting. I see more people that is studying the course. Now people studying the course everywhere. I see more people that is finding the voice that they have inside. I see, what is this? These are reflections of the right mind. These are reflections that prove me, testify to me that I am in the right path and what I am learning is true. Then what I am doing is I continue studying, I continue learning, I continue listening to the voice of God, and I continue to see the Christ outside of me in everything, to surrender all the illusions. And meanwhile, what I am teaching, I am sharing, I am all that, because this is going to confirm and to make me this new dream that is coming more real and more a reflection of the love.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I
Well,
don't
here we
know.
are coming to the end. We only have a minute left.
Goodbye.
Yeah, one last quick thought, Alberto.
Yes.
One idea that people can take. What is the most important thing they need to know?
That all is well. The introduction.
All is well.
The introduction of the course said only love exists. Nothing real can be damaged, or nothing unreal exists. God is love. That is what we are. Everything that we experience that is not that is only a projection. It's only a projection of what we believe it that we were, what we believe that the world is. But nothing of that has happened. That's what the course teaches. Then I open myself, because still I am dreaming. No, I am here. I open myself to be guided from the light that already live in me and live in everything. There is nothing no place where this life is not.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
All is well. That's the best
words. All is well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, C, for being here with me. Thank you, Alberto, for the love that you've shared and the love that you are. And have a great week, everyone. Be sure to share and subscribe, and we'll see you all next week. God bless.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you
for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network. Come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.